I always had it in my mind that, because there was a lot of drug testing and things like that involved, obviously. And I held a Class A combination CDL. So when we would get drug tested, we would get drug tested by our company, by the utility company, and by DOT.
Third party, yeah.
And it was always one of those things where I figured, so long as I didn't do anything illegal,
Right.
that there was nothing wrong with it. But all in all, it really stunted my professional growth. And I as much as I regret it, I haven't touched a drink in over a decade. Thankfully, and I've become very cautious what I say out loud, what I speak into existence.
Yes,
But
sir.
these days, I'm thankful that I don't have that urge.
Yeah.
I won't ever say that I never will, and that I'm done with it and through with it. But I'm grateful that I no longer have it.
Yeah. I'm a year and a half, and they ask me the same thing. Plus, I host parties at clubs, and I'm always around it, and it's an amazing mindset.
Yeah.
But you just have to say, nah. But if I do, this time I'll know I'm going to call an Uber, or I'm going to have a designated driver, or something. Because the end of this story, which I'll share with you later on, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm rolling already.
I know you are. You learn well. We do that to each other. So.
All right, so you can take it to the top.
All right, guys. So here we are. Once again, we're with Lieutenant James, and we are a part of Reentry TV and the Lieutenant's House. David and Ivory Ministries has this amazing program in place. So, Lieutenant, once again, what does it mean to be a lieutenant to you, sir?
Well, honestly, Lieutenant Fields, I tried to talk my way out of it. He wouldn't hear it.
Sir.
He was very adamant of me taking that position. I didn't expect it when it happened, but even to this day, a year or so later, he still makes it a point to tell me how proud he is. And I guess, wearing that mantle of lieutenant is, in essence, it's a way of holding you accountable. Maybe a little more accountable than the next man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And it's not really so much a rank, as it is, him believing that you're someone that can inspire someone else to do better. And really, that's what it is for me. It's you take the label, and you try to live by example with it, and that's what I do.
All right. So, Lieutenant, let me ask, what is one of the biggest lessons you've learned once you rejoined society after being incarcerated?
There was a lot of them. The biggest lessons. Well, I think that would fall back probably on what we were just talking about before now. For a long time, I would set unrealistic goals for myself. Not unreachable or undesirable, but a little too strict to the path of making it to those goals. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And when things would go wrong, it would, you can only plan so far ahead, and then there's a lot of things that can happen in road to recovery or road to, getting to where you want to be in life. But I think it took me a long time to understand that getting to where you want to be and getting what you want out of life is more learning to roll with the punches and the failures than it is actually getting to where you're going. And that's kind of where I'm at in life now. I have certain things in life that I know I want, and I know they're obtainable, and I know that I can reach them, but I take it one day at a time. I try to keep myself prepared to handle whatever setbacks may come with it. So that's definitely something that that's probably one of my bigger lessons.
Before we let you go, Lieutenant, what
Sure.
advice will you give someone who's watching this right now about having a second chance or getting a second chance?
Getting a second chance. Well, it's something you have to want. You know, it's second chances. They're given, but they need to be earned. You know, things that are given too often tend to lose their impact. They did with me. And, you know, it's not until you run out of those second chances that you realize how, like, valuable they really were. So I wouldn't take them for granted.
Lieutenant James, congratulations, sir.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you.
Real life, real solution. Reentry TV. Real life, real solution. Reentry TV.